What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tino here, and we're here today for another TTW episode as we're going to talk about the Vince McMahon documents. I guess we're going to talk about her husband too. But we're going to talk about the Vince McMahon documentary. We got the upcoming Bad Blood pay-per-view. We got the premiere episode of the CW in Chicago at the Allstate Arena this Tuesday. We got some comments made by Swerve about some stuff. We got Ricochet on the Talk is Jericho. And a lot of stuff to talk about. But let's get into it. Let's not waste any time. And let's get to the chat. What's up, Hassan? I'll be switching 3 chats because I got to watch the Eagles preview for tomorrow. Jade, I completely get you, bro. I completely feel you. Hopefully. Do I? Yes, I do. What's up, Hassan? Hassan, I am confused. Clash of what champions? I don't know what you're talking about there. Let's do Monday Night Raw. Go home. Monday night, huh? But that's Monday. Today's Saturday. We still got 2 days till Monday.
Oh shit! Is that your sister?
No.
It sounded like it would have been your sister.
No. She comes in the chat here sometimes. We love Olivia. I have it on in the. Not right now. I do not have it on, but I could have it on in the background for you. What happened?
So tell your sister her ass is grass too.
Oh my god, here we go.
I'll fight 11-year-old.
Okay, well, let's not fight the 11-year-old. Anyway, ignore that. Let's talk about some wrestling news, guys, and let's talk about some stuff that happened and you guys saw on a short that we did a couple days ago. SummerSlam. We're trying to talk about 2025. Because in 2025, in New Jersey, Jadis lives at J-Dog, could possibly go to SummerSlam. Saturday, August 2nd, Sunday, August 3rd, 2025. The first ever 2-night SummerSlam in New Jersey. It would be cool. I'm excited to see how these 2-night SummerSlam goes. I would not be shocked if we see 2 nights of Royal Rumble, 2 nights of Survivor Series, only because I feel like that they would want to do more War Games matches. But I also feel like, on the other hand, that may not be the best thing to do because I like only having certain pay-per-views only one night. SummerSlam will be a good show. New Jersey next year. 2026, Minnesota? SummerSlam. Yeah. 2026, Minnesota. That's where I'm trying to go. Let's talk about, as you guys see, I'm using the NXT background tonight. Let's talk about the CW because we will be there live in attendance in Chicago. And apparently, going forward, NXT on the CW will be TV 14. We will definitely have to see if that comes true. We have Lola Vice. We got Trick Williams. We got Ethan Page, Roxanne, and CM Punk. Obviously, we'll see a tag team match. I think that's happening this Tuesday with Lola Vice. We got an NXT championship match with Trick Willie and Ethan Page. And then we got Roxanne Perez taking on Julia. And CM Punk will be the special guest referee for that match between Page and Trick Williams. We'll be doing a little bit of a preview show. I'm going to go live with Rocco on Tuesday for like 10 minutes. We're going to do a quick preview show to talk about what we think is going to happen at the show. And then we'll talk about it when we come back on Friday, when we get back home, and everything else like that. But NXT Tuesday on the CW in Chicago, premiere episode. And we'll have to see going forward if it really is TV 14. I'm really excited. We also will see Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, tag team champions. We'll have to see who else we possibly see at the show. I think they're going to have a lot of surprises, too, because they also said they want to hit 1 million viewers. And I think they will do anything that they possibly can do. We got Courtney in the house. What's up, Courtney? Courtney, how you been? It's been a while. I feel like, Courtney, what have you been up to and what's been going on, Courtney? I feel like we haven't talked in a while. Let's talk about, something that will happen this upcoming Friday. After Tuesday, when we're back here live on Friday for Friday Night SmackDown, we have the return of AJ Styles. The phenomenal one will be returning, and he will be back this upcoming Friday on SmackDown. Also, Shotzi Blackheart is set for a huge, exciting change to her gimmick when she returns to the WWE. You guys know Shotzi Blackheart has been out for a little bit period of time, and we'll definitely have to see what happens with Shotzi. It's been a while. She got injured, as we saw in NXT, that one show. And let's hope Shotzi Blackheart comes back, because they did recently do the name thing and get the rights to Shotzi Blackheart. I'm excited to see where that goes with Shotzi. If you did not see, though, this past Wednesday, we saw the return of MVP in professional wrestling after leaving WWE. He showed up in AEW, came out, and apparently they're going to be forming a new Hurt Business. And Bobby Lashley is apparently going to be a part of it. And I'm excited to see where this could go. Could we see Shelton Benjamin be a part of it? Who could they bring in from AEW? You know, I always talk about it, and I always say how I really, AEW isn't like my favorite weekly television show. But the one thing I will say about it is that they do give, again, as I always like to say, it gives you the opportunity to see people you may not see on a weekly basis and in WWE, such as an MVP's, Bobby Lashley's, Ricochet's, Malachi Black's, Darby Allin's, etc., etc. We could go on and on forever. That's the one thing that's the one thing I do like and I do appreciate with AEW is that, obviously sometimes the stuff doesn't get booked the best, but it is still nice to be able to see them still performing, still on TV. And yes, I know we all want every single one of our superstars to perform on every single show, but I think we also just have to realize that is just not going to happen. Now let's talk about let's talk about Triple H. And let's talk about what he had to say about him and CM Punk this past Monday, because he was saying there were a bunch of legends there. And then he was talking about how it was only Punk and Triple H. Triple H, you're a first ballot Hall of Famer. And you know dang well now that CM Punk is back in WWE, you know dang well he's going to go into the WWE Hall of Fame. It's only a matter of time before we do see these two guys in the Hall of Fame. I think the one thing I will say about the Hall of Fame, and I always say it, I feel like there needs to be something like the NFL, where if there is a guy if he is not active for 5 years, because we see it happen a lot where we see a lot of things go down and then we see guys retire and then they perform the next night and then they retire. They retire before WrestleMania, but then they perform 6 months later. We've seen Trish Stratus retire, and then she came out of retirement. I just wish, I understand that obviously stuff happens, like Bryan Danielson, Edge, Paige, Saraya. Stuff happens, and things can happen where, it takes a long time. But I just sometimes feel like there is, a year where it's not like Rey Mysterio goes into the Hall of Fame, but he's still wrestling. Because then that defeats the purpose of the Hall of Fame. And they also should have a Hall of Fame I think they should have a kind of like how the NFL and baseball does. They should have a WWE Hall of Fame place where you can go and look at all the superstars that have ever been inducted. Speaking of guys that could be a Hall of Famer, and if they did do a ballot, I think he very well could be a first time ballot Hall of Famer. And of course, I wish I could go to this, but I will not be in Chicago for too long of periods of time, and I will not be able to make the show. But if you are in Chicago next weekend, if you're in the South Side area, and you are in the and if you are in the Joliet area, go and check out some Ego Pro Wrestling at the Forge. We talked about it a little bit with Missa Kate. Missa Kate has an upcoming match. She's got a lot of upcoming matches. If you guys have not yet, go and check out that Missa Kate interview. But next Saturday, October 5th, the doors open at 5 p.m. The bell rings at 6 p.m. And look at who's showing up. It's our boy, Kofi Kingston in Chicago. Picture ops. Go check it out. If you have limited photo ops, cash only. So if you have the opportunity, go and check it out. Ego Pro Wrestling, all of that good stuff. Kofi Kingston. Going to be in Chi-Town. And maybe he'll bring some special guests. Maybe Big E will be there. Maybe Woods will be there. I mean, maybe not Woods if they're going to keep kayfabe alive, because Woods seems like he's about to go loco, and he's about to not have himself a good time. Now let's talk about, though, just want to give a shout out to Ego Pro Wrestling real quick. Now let's talk about something Sasha Banks Mercedes had to say about AEW, about WWE. And I want to make sure I get the exact quote here from her. Sasha Banks Mercedes Moné says AEW needs to stop focusing on WWE and worry about themselves. AEW's only been around for 5 years. WWE's been around for 30 plus, 50, 60 plus years. I don't know what, I added the 50, 60. She only said 30 plus. I don't know what kind of gap you can choose with that. With such a big gap of a company who's been around for so long, I think AEW just has to keep on being its own and focus on AEW. And Mercedes Moné said this via the Breakfast Club podcast. And Mercedes Moné is absolutely correct in that. Mercedes Moné, and I think that's the biggest problem that I have with it, where it's just like, why can't they just do what they do? Why can't WWE do what they do? And everybody, it gets a little something, and everybody has themselves a good time. There's no reason to be fighting, no reason for any of it. And it just, I don't know. And I just don't like the shots. Like, even WWE sometimes, like, yes, they're kind of funny. And even some of the ones AEW say are even funnier. But I don't like the shots that they take at each other. I really don't, no matter who it is, where it's at, what show it is. I just feel like it's unnecessary. And can we just watch the show without it being like a copycat, or like they're trying to fight over who, or like one guy has a steel cage match on a Wednesday, then the following Friday that show has a steel cage match, or like War Games happens and then all of a sudden Blood and Guts is like introduced. It's like, come on now. You couldn't come up with your own match type. You just took War Games, made it a little brutal, and made it named Blood and Guts. Sorry, I feel about that. Now let's talk about some stuff. And again, guys, let me know what you guys feel, and let me know what you guys think about what I've been talking about here. Let me know in the chat. Leave a comment, all that good stuff. I do appreciate it. Let's talk about, we saw her tag team partner recently be added to WWE 2K24. And we were wondering, and we were talking about Cool. We were talking about Layla. And Layla had this to say about how she is ready to return to the WWE, and she's ready for another return. And I'm excited for that, because that would be exciting. She did say, I should say, I want to go back. I think I should. Why shouldn't I go back? Just to go again and see the fans. And some people want to see me come back. I would like to do that before I get too old. I think Layla is somebody we could definitely see in the Royal Rumble. I don't want to get hurt, she says. But one thing, why not? I'd like to go down memory lane one last time. And she said this via they make their way to the ring. WWE. Cool. Let's see it happen. Maybe Michelle McCool. That's exactly what should happen. I'm going to call it right now, predicting it. Cool returning 2025 in the Women's Royal Rumble. Michelle's going to enter number 7. Layla's going to come out number 10. They're going to do their famous thing that, we always love to see Cool do, and be obnoxious and do something to somebody, maybe like a Chelsea Green. And then they're both going to get thrown out, or maybe Michelle costs Layla. And then maybe we see Layla compete at WrestleMania next year. I'm down for that. But Layla, guys, could be returning to the WWE. What do you guys think about that? Let me know. Layla, do you want to see her back? Do you not want to see her back? Let me know. But speaking of a woman that is returning, and we saw her return on a live event, and she's not had the best luck of injuries, and I hope she gets better, stronger, and I hope she can continue to make a name for herself, and she can come back better. And it is an NXT superstar, and her name is the one and only Nikita Lyons. Guys, let's welcome back Nikita Lyons. As she did recently return at a live event, and she will be now hopefully returning soon to the NXT TV product. Maybe after Roxanne loses the title. Maybe they make a call-up randomly. Definitely going to have to see what happens. But Nikita Lyons is back. Now, we got Ricochet, Triple H, and Drew McIntyre, guys. Oh, do we got some shenanigans to talk about here? Because Ricochet's got this to claim in a trouble backstage body slamming, and how he body slammed Drew McIntyre. This is via the Talk is Jericho podcast. I came to the back and they said, no, you cannot do that. Literally, they told me, I said, can't do that. You can't pick Drew up. It makes him look bad. But I can squat over 400 pounds. Dang, Ricochet, look at you over here. So it looks like you know what I mean. And I get it. I know that they don't want to make people look a certain way and everything. But it just does not make sense to me. And it really bothers me that, like, even to the fact that, like, what is going on with, like, certain things, I just don't know why, like, certain superstars can't, like, be that, like, guy to pick up, like, a Drew McIntyre or a Braun Strowman or a Bronson Reed or, like, why is that so bad if Ricochet can do that? I think that's incredible. And I think that's something that we need to fix in just wrestling in general, because I think it's, I like watching superstars pick other superstars up when it's kind of like something that probably could not happen. Now, one of the last things I do want to talk about, I do have a few other things I do want to talk about. Just want to make sure that I don't miss anything. But let's talk about we've been seeing the legend, what was it? The wrestling god. Is that what he used to call himself? I forget now. I'm blanking out what he used to call himself. But we've been seeing him show up everywhere. And his name is JBL. And JBL, WWE Hall of Famer. We were talking about the Hall of Fame earlier today. He said he's loyal to WWE. And he has no plans to go to AEW. I've been a lifelong WWE guy. I've been a loyal WWE guy. And he said that via the Wrestle Binge. And JBL is another guy that comes out and says he's loyal to the WWE, which I kind of like, and I'm happy that he did come out and say that, just for the simple fact that, you know, we could say and do what you want, but there are some people that low-key probably will never show up there. But then again, there are people that will never show up in WWE. There are guys on the other hand that they're loyal to AEW, and that's fine. I love loyalty. You're loyal, shit. I'd do anything in the world for you. But if you're you know, you do this and that, you know, I mean, you gotta go to the other company. You gotta go somewhere else. Sorry, ooses, as Jay Uso likes to say. I just sometimes being loyal is good because, you know, you could be set for life, and, you know, maybe you're not getting the opportunities like a Cody Rhodes and stuff. I definitely understand that one. And you want to go and do something else, but why can't it be the other way around? You know, I feel like I'm kind of like hyping AEW up a little bit, but I feel like it just needs to be both for both companies and both ways. Now, we've talked about a lot of stuff. We have two more things to talk about, and that is the upcoming pay-per-view, and that is the Vince McMahon documentary. Let's get to, and I'm not gonna give you a full preview, but I am going to give you what the card is as of right now, and then we'll talk about this Vince McMahon documentary. We still got the poll going on in the community poll and in the community page on the channel. If you do want to, I would like to, if you guys will watch here with me, I'd like to go back and watch it on the live stream here with you. Maybe do an episode at a time, a couple episodes a week or something like that. We could figure it out. But let me know, do you guys want to go live for the Vince McMahon documentary? But before we get to that, let's talk about Bad Blood coming up this Saturday. And oh, what a match card we got here. We got Bayley taking on Nia Jax for the Women's Championship. We got Damian Priest taking on his old buddy Finn Balor. We got a tag team match between Roman Reigns, yes, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes as they take on two members of the New Bloodline in Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. And then in the main event, and again, we could see a match added tomorrow or Friday, we have CM Punk, the best in the world, taking on the Scottish one himself, Drew McIntyre, inside of hell, in a cell. They're going to be locked in a cage, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Two guys ready to destroy each other. And it's going to be oh so fun in the ATL at Bad Blood. We'll be here live next Saturday. We'll have a preview show this upcoming week, and I'm excited for it. The one thing we will not be doing, and I did want to talk about this also because I don't know if you guys did not notice. Maybe nobody noticed, and I'm just sitting here, and maybe I was the only one that did notice. But we did not do the WWE 2K24 My GM episode. I still do have it on, and I would like to try to finish it and figure out a way to finish it. But the way the game looks, it absolutely drives me insane. So I'm going to try to find a way that we can do it where the quality is a little better, and I want to try to figure it out. So it won't be, obviously, next week because we'll be at NXT and everything. I'm going to try for a couple weeks because I would like to finish that season of NXT, of My GM mode before we put the game away until, at least on the channel, until next year. We will not be doing a simulation of Bad Blood this time around. We're going to skip Bad Blood for the simulation. I'm thinking we do the simulations for only the big pay-per-views. So we'll probably do it for Survivor Series. But now, before we get to the chat, and I want to hear what you guys got to say. I want to know, and I want to hear what you guys got to say about this Vince McMahon documentary. And if you have not seen it, if you have not watched it, it is on Netflix. It is Mr. McMahon. It is in the top 10. And if you are looking for something to binge, definitely something if you want to watch. I think it'd be good. It's it's not educational, but like it's educational purposes. If like you're a wrestling fan and you're always curious about what has happened from the time that Vince became Vince, by the time when he was younger with his dad, stuff like that, when they first had WrestleMania, how they brought in the mainstream audience. We've seen a lot of stuff about steroids, about the superstars using steroids. We saw a lot of scandals, some that we did hear about, some that I personally didn't know about. We did hear about a little bit behind the curtain of what happened when they finally broke the third wall, and the fourth wall, I should say, and they all hugged in the ring, the Clique did, and everybody finally found out that wrestling was fake. Vince talked about, obviously, what Vince always talks about. There were a few disturbing things that I feel like if you don't want to watch it, I definitely understand. But if you did not hear about this, I feel like you maybe should have if you've seen anything about it. But apparently Vince McMahon had this storyline idea that he got Stephanie impregnated or something weird, or I don't know. I guess that's what it was. But some weird storylines this man had. And they also talked about the Ashley Mazzaro situation. They talked about the Sable situation. They also mentioned, and I think this is the most I've seen out of it, is the Chris Benoit situation. And they actually showed the part of WrestleMania where the family did come into the ring. I personally have not seen that, maybe since it happened or since I had the DVD when I was a kid. Stuff like that. The one thing I was surprised they did not talk about was the Eddie Guerrero situation. Like, they talked about Chris Benoit, but we really didn't see too much about Eddie Guerrero, and obviously Eddie Guerrero's was a whole different situation than Chris Benoit's. But I just feel like, it was also something that happened that had something to do with it. Vince McMahon had some disturbing comment, or not. I don't even know which way to say it, but Vince had some comments to say about certain things that maybe he shouldn't have. And if you did not see, he refused to do the interview for the last part of the documentary after all the claims came out recently, which Grant, all the stuff that have come out in the documentary, stuff that, again, that still comes out, and the amount of money, and the fact that what happened, especially with Ashley. Ashley is the one, because I remember watching Ashley. I always talk about watching people come in and everything else like that. I remember when Ashley first came in. I remember when she started doing the Playboy stuff, when they finally kind of started treating her right, and then it all kind of went away. and it all made sense. And then obviously and unfortunately, we lost Ashley because of stuff that, it sucks because you never want to see anything happen like that. And that was the one that I didn't know about a lot of them, but knowing a little bit more about the Ashley one kind of just was like, damn. So there are a lot of things that, that happens in the documentary. We hear about the Montreal screw job, episode 3. Shout out to SCW Steve if you want to go check out his review on it. If you don't want to watch it, you just want to check out a review, go check out SCW Steve, SCW Wrestling Channel. As he is reviewing the episode, I think he just got done reviewing it. The screw job, the Montreal screw job. We heard more about that and how Brett just said Brett things and Brett did Brett and all the stuff that we kind of knew and the stuff that some of the stuff we really didn't know that Brett mentioned in there. They did talk a little bit about also, I talk about Brett. They did talk about the Owen Hart situation and about how the harness broke and everything else like that. That was a situation that obviously was really bad and a situation that if you maybe have not ever heard of, if you're like newer to wrestling, maybe you don't watch all the older stuff, you guys know that Owen Hart obviously fell and the harness broke and he obviously did not survive it and everything else like that in a full pay-per-view. And Vince McMahon went on with the show. Jerry Lawler and JR had the awful just responsibility of telling the people what happened. I cannot imagine what that was like. It was just a whole, this documentary, I feel like I learned a lot, but I also feel like too that there was a lot of things in it that if you've watched a lot of documentaries that you may have actually seen before and stuff that may not have been new to you and stuff that we, The two things I will say though, that kind of made a little, or three things, I guess, because Vince talked about how he has like 3 brains and one works in one way, one works in another way. Maybe he's just losing his damn mind. They did talk about Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon returned. Shane McMahon leaving the company. It was interesting to see, and I kind of forgot at the time how big of a deal it was that Shane McMahon returned when he did at that WrestleMania, around WrestleMania, the road to WrestleMania in 2016, when he took on The Undertaker at WrestleMania 32 inside Hell in the Cell. And it was really interesting to see just the moment that him and his dad had, father to son. You guys know how I always talk about father-son moments and everything else like that on here. And it's just one of those things that Triple H obviously got the company. Stephanie was the one to take control. But I do believe that at one point, Shane McMahon was going to be the guy to take over WWE. And he even mentioned it when he did that promo all those years ago, 2016, how he wanted the kids and the kids' kids and his kids and her kids and just continue with the McMahon family. Well, obviously now we know how all that is going. And Stephanie has some sort of stuff, but obviously TKO and everything else like that. And it was also nice to know that Vince absolutely has nothing to do with WWE anymore. It was a good 6-part documentary, 6-episode documentary. It's definitely worth watching. And as I said, if you guys do want to watch it here on the channel, go and vote on the community page in the channel. Let me know if you want to. If you don't want to, let me know. If you do, we'll watch all 6 episodes here and we'll talk about all the stuff that happened. But those are my overall thoughts about the Vince McMahon documentary and everything that happened. There is a lot more to it, but I don't want to give everything away in case you do want to watch it and in case you haven't seen it, because you guys know how much I hate spoilers, and I've already spoiled a lot for you, which means I don't want to spoil any more for you, which is, yeah. Let's get to the chat. Let's see what you guys are saying. And let's see what everybody's got going on. Anybody got any fun Saturday night plans? We got any weekend plans? Anybody got anything going on? What's everybody up to? We will be live here Monday night for 2 football games and Monday Night Raw. But then we will not be back here live until and we will have some shorts. I have the preview show for NXT, but we will not be live here in the channel, on the channel, besides that 10, 15, 20-minute preview show with Rocco until Friday night. So Monday, we'll be here. Tuesday, at some point in the afternoon, we'll be going live randomly. I'll set a time and let you guys know, obviously. But it's not going to be like which is yeah. Just so you guys know what the schedule looking like next week. Now let's get to these comments. You see I did see Karl Anthony Towns did get traded to the Knicks. Man, I never thought that we would see Karl Anthony Thomas get traded. I really did not. Cardi B will also be there. Yes, Cardi B. If you did not see, we also got some big news about Cardi B. She will be at SummerSlam. What's up, Courtney? I appreciate you, Courtney. What's up, Daniel? Appreciate you, Daniel, coming and stopping by for a few minutes. What's up, Curvin? Every company has their favorites. That's big facts. Every company does have their favorites. And I don't disagree with you on that at all, which is fine. I just feel like also, there's going to be guys that just want to stay. And again, as long as everybody's happy, who cares? And if everybody's getting some type of something or another, that's all that should matter. That's just how I feel. Good evening, Michelle. What's up, Michelle? Had food poisoning, but feeling a lot better now. Well, Michelle, I'm happy you're feeling better. I do appreciate you stopping by here for a few minutes. Thank you for coming and checking out the episode. We will not be here live tomorrow, just so you guys know, too, also. We will not be here live, but we will be back here next week for another football game. I haven't decided what football game, but we will be back here next week, next Sunday, for more football. Bad Blood next week, Bad Blood preview show, and all that good stuff. What's up, Michelle? Now, let's get to, and the last thing I got to say here is that I want to say that you guys need to, if you have not yet, go and check out the 3 interviews that we've done here on the channel. As we had Damon Kemp, formerly known as Damon Kemp, now obviously known by his real name, Bobby Stevenson. Go check out that first interview we did with Bobby a few weeks, 2-3 weeks ago. A couple weeks ago, we had Bobby Fish on the channel, guys. We talked about MLW, the Undisputed Era, War Games, and much more. Go and check out that. We had on Tuesday, Missa Kate, guys. Missa Kate is everywhere. Chicago sweetheart. She is going to be all over the place. Go and check out her upcoming matches October 4th, October 5th, and everywhere. Follow the social medias and all that good stuff. But Missa Kate doing her thing, and I appreciated all of those 3 people being on the channel and giving me a little bit of their time to chat it up. So go check out those episodes. Also, we got the Southside Boys episode. I know it's the worst MLB team in MLB history, as they broke the record yesterday. But you can still go support the Southside Boys. That's all I got, though. That's all. If we got no more comments, then I guess I'll say goodbye. And I will see you guys all back here Monday for a Monday Night Raw live stream as we go live at 6:30 because we got 2 more football games and we got a 3-hour Monday night. And then, as I said, we'll be live here Tuesday afternoon as me and Rocco will be previewing NXT from the CW. But, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your Saturday night. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy your football. Go follow all the social medias, all that good stuff. Go hit that like button. Go get your merchandise. Go become a member. And just all the things. Go do all the things. And lastly, subscribe on the road to 3K and turn that notification button on so you know when we go live next, which will be Monday for Monday Night Raw. Guys, as I said, enjoy your weekend. Michelle, you are tonight's MVP, and I'll see you guys all back here Monday night for Monday Night Raw.